Welcome, Rangers fans. Welcome back to our midweek Coaches Show. As we do each week, we'll recap what has happened and what is getting ready to happen in the world of Ranger sports and around Smithson Valley High School. We'll start where we always start, our most recent football game last Friday night here at Ranger Stadium. We hosted the Piper Warriors in our second district ball game. We're fortunate enough to get a 27-17 win to move to 2-0 in district and to keep us tied for first place in the district race as we head into our open week. Great atmosphere. If you were at the game or watched the game on the broadcast or just know anything about it, you just know that there were just tons of people here. Lines backing up on both sides prior to the opening of the gates, and we were at capacity or probably even above capacity on both sides. So it was just a tremendous environment for football last Friday night. Real proud of our kids to get an opportunity to play in an environment like that, and then of course to win the game and move to 2-0 makes it even that much better. But playing a highly touted Piper team, very talented team, and 27-17, as I said. And Coach Westerfer, I know a week ago we talked about, a high-scoring group does things a little out of the mainstream, not something you defend every week. Hold them to 17 points. No one's really been able to do that all year. So how were we able to get that done?
Well, I thought the kids did a great job all week preparing. In practice, we had several coverage checks that they needed to make on the field, and they did that consistently, and they did it well, which means they paid attention in the meetings throughout the week, did a good job in practice of paying attention, and I was really proud of them for that, because there's a lot of times you get miscommunications and then blown coverages, and that creates some explosive plays, and we were able to limit a very explosive offense to just 4 explosive plays, which is still more than we want to give up, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, they scored twice. Their 2 touchdowns on explosive plays, but like you said, to hold them to 4 is good. I think offensively, we had, was it Coach Atkins?
We had 7.
Had 7. So to out explosive them, if that's a word, 7-4 was big. And then we got a couple of turnovers.
Yes, sir. We had a couple of turnovers, which I think gets created by the pressure created by the defensive line. Kyle Bierman had a lot of batted balls. He got his hands up and deflected a lot of passes, one of which resulted in a good interception for Jacob Stover. And then Hunter Haug had a big interception right before the half to stop a drive and keep them from scoring before the half.
That's good. Old Kyle Bierman probably spending too much time on football lately, letting his academics slip. What's his GPA down to about 112 now or something like that?
Yeah, I think it's 112. I think he's, number 8 or something in the class.
Yeah,
really smart kid.
Going to the open week, maybe he can hone up and spend a little time on academics this week and get that right back where it needs to be. But, yeah, Kyle and the others played very, very well. And, of course, obviously we've got to make some plays in the kicking game and on offense as well. And you mentioned explosive, Coach Atkins, but we're also able to control the ball quite a bit as well.
Yes, sir. I think that was a big part of the night, was just being able to control the football. And you can't do that without running the ball really well and having some timely third down conversions. And I think we did both of those things. And then on top of that, our kicking game did a great job of just giving us short fields to work with, and our defense did a great job of getting us 2 turnovers and allowing us a short field to work. Just constantly, we looked at the report that we were always playing with the shorter field than they were, and that was a big difference in the game as well.
No doubt. You mentioned some key third downs. I thought we had some big throw and catches on third down. I know Brody Wick on a big bender route in there on a 3rd and long. That was huge. Kept a drive alive. And, and then aside from that, just some 3rd and 2s, some 4th and 1s where everybody in the stadium kind of knows you're going to bang it and you're able to do it anyway.
Yes, sir. And we were talking about just – the 5-6 yard runs that we had consistently, and just to move the chains and to stay in front of the chains, just felt like that was always really steady and constant. Maybe not the explosive 30-yard touchdown run that you see sometimes, but it was really the gritty kind of plays that were consistent throughout the night.
No doubt. And then Coach Atkins mentioned the kicking game. We had a big, 70-yard kickoff return, set us up with a short field. Had another big kickoff return past midfield, set us up with a short field. Had a big punt return. So, those are things that people don't often talk about. But, You know, when you're putting the other team on the long field and having to go 80, 85, and you're giving your own self the ball going 30 or 45, that makes a big difference, particularly in a closely contested game like this was. Trent Amaya, you know, each and every kickoff through the end zone, putting them on the long field, making all of his extra points, making 2 field goals, just little things that sometimes separate winning from losing in a tight game like that one was last Friday. So good win to get. Obviously, we're not where we want to be yet, but we're not where we used to be. You know, we're getting better. And we've still got 5 district games to go. We are at the turn. We're 5 games in. The entire district takes a week off now, including us, so we have an open date. And then when we resume, you know, then obviously we have work to do. You know, we'll open up with Wagner, and I think Ranger fans know what kind of challenges Wagner presents. We're going to talk about that when we get back, but we've had some other neat things happen as well, so we're going to turn it over to Coach Melissa Miller and Dr. Snyder, our principal. They're going to talk about what else is going on around our campus at Smithson Valley High School. So, ladies, y'all take it away.
Thanks, Coach. Congrats to you guys on a great win last Friday night.
Big
Tons
win.
of fun. Yeah, great turnout. Really good for our community. So again, congrats to you guys. And we've got a bunch of other teams that we need to give congrats to.
Yes.
So we're going to start with water polo. We talked last week about how they were hosting or having their district tournament Thursday and Saturday. I got to go out Thursday and watch the first round. The girls dropped a tough one to Davenport, who's got a really strong girls program. I was really proud of the girls and the way they competed. And the boys had a huge win on Thursday over Canyon. So that dropped the girls to playing for 3rd and 4th on Saturday, but it allowed the boys to go and fight for a district championship Saturday afternoon. And then you got to go Saturday morning.
I did. I
Yeah.
saw the girls play on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It was great. They really fought hard.
Yeah.
Good win for them.
Big win
Yeah.
over Piper, which seeds them in 3rd for our district seedings moving into playoffs. And then the boys had a tough loss to Davenport Saturday afternoon, but again are taking the 2nd seed in
Yep.
playoffs. So really proud of both of our water polo boys and girls programs. Again, we've continued to say it, but Coach Small and Coach Duckworth have done a fantastic job of growing that program. I don't think 2nd and 3rd has happened before, so really good improvements in this season. We'll talk a little bit about their playoffs, but it is coming up. We also want to give a shout out to tennis, who last week traveled to Tybee last Tuesday and brought home a huge win. They've got one more game left in district, so they're ending it on a great note. And then cross country. So we talked last week about how cross country was headed to the Dallas Jesuit Invitational, and they found out the day before that was not happening anymore. So I want to give a huge shout out to Coach Hall, Miss Moore, our athletic directors, Coach Hammond, Coach Martinez, for being able to find a place for Coach Hall, Coach Aguilar, and our girls and boys to run. They were still able to travel up there. They ended up finding the Byron Nelson Last Minute Invitational, which the name fits. But it was a really tough competition. They're a field of competition. They had a bunch of 6As, but our girls did it again. They went in and pulled the upset over Byron Nelson. And if you don't know, they're the number 3 6A team in the state. So we faced some really good competition, ended up winning it by 2 points. Aubrey Posey won the meet. I can't believe this. For 3 miles, she ran it in 17 minutes and 15 seconds. Just my brain doesn't comprehend that. It's incredible. And then our boys also were in a very competitive field at the Byron Nelson and ended up 3rd overall. We want to give a shout out to Luke Smith, who finished 5th individually. So what started off a little bit chaotic, I think turned out really, really well. We got to face really good competition. Their next competition is district, and I think they're in a perfect place to be ready for that.
Great opportunity. Way to go, team.
Yeah.
I'm getting a
the whole
yes.
team. The runners, the coaches, our admin that helped. And then volleyball. Volleyball had a great week last week. We headed Tuesday to Tybee, headed out to Kerrville. All 4 teams won, brought home the program sweep. Really good showing from our varsity kids who were able to go out and win in 3. And then this past Friday, we started round 2 of district. We opened that with hosting Veterans Memorial. We went with 5 with them the first round and were able to beat them in 4 sets this round. Our JV and both of our freshman teams also won. So really good week for volleyball. We are currently 6-3 in district and tied for 3rd.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so in the middle of the 2nd round, and really proud of the way the girls are playing and excited about our game this Friday, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, so we want to give a highlight to Student of the Week and Teacher of the Week. Before we do though, I just wanted to mention our band has started competition season. They went to Band of America Texas State competition this week. I don't know. I don't have results on how
Yeah.
they placed, but they are heavy in every Saturday they go to compete, and we are excited about what we're going to see from them this year.
That's impressive after a
Yeah.
late Friday night here at, those kids really work.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. And our ROTC is also starting their competition season as well. They've
This
got
weekend,
a big
right?
competition that they host here
Yep.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, so we're excited to see what our groups are doing.
Yep.
So we have Student of the Week nominated by Coach Hurt. Our Student of the Week is Kata Braswell. Kata serves as the manager for the basketball team and consistently demonstrates outstanding character and leadership. She is kind and respectful to everyone she encounters, both adults and student athletes, and regularly offers her to help coaches and fellow students alike. She is a natural mentor to others without asking. Other adults have shared how impressed they are with Kata's positive attitude and caring nature. She is respectful, compassionate, and genuinely committed to making a difference. Kata has expressed her desire to become a teacher, and based on her work ethic, patience, and natural kindness, we are confident she will be an exceptional one. So congrats, Kata. Well done. And Teacher of the Week, nominated by Mrs. Schoen, is Mrs. Karen McGuire. So Miss Schoen nominated Karen McGuire as Teacher of the Week because she is dedicated, patient, and loves to show love to every student that she has. She works incredibly hard to make sure that her materials and resources are up and ready in order for her to achieve her goals with her students. She handles classroom behaviors with calm and compassion. She makes sure every student feels seen, heard, and appreciated. She lets her team know how appreciated she feels by them as well. So congratulations, Ms. McGuire.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you guys. All right, let's talk about what's coming up this week. It is football's bye week, but everybody else is still going. So water polo is going to have their bi-district playoffs, so first round of playoffs next Monday and Tuesday. We don't have the information right now. We're waiting for the other district to finish up tonight, but we will get that out on social media as soon as we have those matchups.
Yeah.
It's going to be sometime next Monday or Tuesday evening. Tennis, varsity is going to close out their district season tonight. It is here at Smithson Valley. They're going to host Veterans Memorial at 4:30. Last chance to check out our varsity tennis team. So if you haven't had a chance to watch them this season, they would appreciate that. Just a tough, very, very tough tennis district.
Yes.
A lot of our teams, 7 or 8 teams could make playoffs in any other district. So we're proud of what our tennis team has done and encourage you to come out and watch them today if you haven't had a chance. Cross country is going to take this week off as they prepare for district next week. So next Tuesday, October 7th, they're going to run in Seguin. Seguin's going to host it this year. We'll have times and everything on social media, but it's typically in the morning around 9 and 10. So we'll post that to social media, but we want to wish them good luck. We'll have results on that next week. And then volleyball, we are enjoying bye as well tonight. We are not playing tonight. It is the bye of our second round. And then this Friday night is a big game for us. We are hosting Bernie Champion, which is currently who we're tied with for third in playoffs, in district, sorry. We're going to host them here at 6:30 at Smithson Valley. It is also our teacher appreciation night. So every athlete in our program has chosen a teacher that they have this year that they would like to honor. In the morning before school, we're going to do a big teacher breakfast, but I love that this game fell on football's bye week because we're really going to make a push for everyone to come out. Champion had a great home court advantage when we played their first round, so we're hoping for the same thing this Friday. So if you're looking for something to do Friday night, we are hosting Bernie Champion. Freshman and JV will play at 5:15, and then varsity will follow at 6:30, and we would love to see you there.
Exciting.
All right, back to you guys.
Thanks, ladies. We appreciate that update, and congrats as always to our other athletes and students, teachers around campus who are doing such great things and make this such a neat place to work and to go to school. When we resume after the break, we mentioned that we're open this week. We're going to take a week off from the show as well. So prior to getting together again on this show next time, we will have played our third district ball game. Now we're going to play the Wagner Thunderbirds. If you're familiar with our program, we've been kind of knocking heads with them for a while, and they do a tremendous job with in a different way. Now we're playing another off-schedule offense who does it a different way. They kind of run the Navy, Army, Air Force style of option football that you don't see much, but they're really, really good at it. They're very talented. They have good coaches. their defense is also a little bit out of the mainstream, and we'll talk about that. So we got another big challenge, a different kind of challenge ahead, but a challenge nonetheless coming at us 2 Fridays from now when we go over to Rutledge Stadium and take on Wagner. Coach Westerfer, we mentioned their offense. Don't you hate that? Don't you wish they'd kind of get like everybody else?
Yes, sir. They're extremely well coached in something that you don't see very often, and that makes it very tough to defend. I wish they'd get in some regular sets and run some regular plays like everybody else does, but I doubt they do that. They're a run downhill team. They're happy with 3 or 4 yards because they're going to create a first down after 4 plays, but they really thrive on the explosives off of that. If you miss one gap, you just miss one tackle, next thing you know, they're going 60 or 70, and they hit you up the middle a bunch, and then all of a sudden they'll pitch it out there on the perimeter and use their speed, and extremely tough to defend. And then when you throw in the play action passes off of that, and then having to account for that, everybody better be really locked in and on their business when we play those guys.
No doubt. And, as we've been talking about, it's just not something you see ever. So, to get ready for it in just a few days is very difficult, particularly. And they count on that. They thrive on that. That's why they do it. They want you to not be ready. And, we're going to have to be ready. So, obviously, we're spending a lot of time in the meeting room, a lot of time on the practice field, a lot of times going over and over and over this. And hopefully we can be ready. Defensively, similar, different. Obviously, you're talking about a different side of the ball, but they're not lining up like everyone else lines up defensively, Coach Atkins.
No, sir, they're not. They always have a very strong physical D-line in front 7 and 8, and they've got a unique way to crowd the box and stuff gaps, and so that'll be a challenge for us. And you say, well, you just throw the ball. They can get back there as well. So we've got to make sure that we protect and we run the football and we do the things necessary to calm them down up front and neutralize their run stops and their defensive line and backers for sure.
And they're another contender. It's a tough league. It's an 8-team league. Maybe perhaps the best district certainly in the region, if not one of the best in the state. So, everybody's got a good football team, and Wagner's certainly one of those. We all have aspirations of playoffs, of winning the district championship. Well, they're one of the ones that have those aspirations. And but again, a big challenge to get ready for them. Friday night, not this Friday, but the following Friday, was that October 10th, I believe, over at Rutledge Stadium. As you know, Wagner's one of 3 Judson schools that shares that stadium, so we'll be going to Rutledge Stadium on that Friday. The game will be on Rangers Network. Pay-per-view. If you don't get there live and watch it in person, you can watch it live on pay-per-view, or you can wait till after the game and watch it on the network for free. Just kind of resuming how we've been doing this for a couple of years. So a big challenge ahead, but we, as we said, we're going to take a week off of this show, and then we'll come back after the Wagner game and kind of report on that and then who's next. Before we sign off, though, we want to give a big shout-out to a couple of our ex-Ranger players. It's kind of a unique situation. 2 former players, Trayvon Merrick, who, of course, played here and is now with the Carolina Panthers playing defense, and Jack Gibbons, one of our linebackers who played in, I think they're a year apart, so they played together several years. Jack's a linebacker with the New England Patriots, so the Patriots and the Panthers played last Sunday. Very unique. Just to have 2 guys in the league is phenomenal. But to get them both together in a game, I think Jack won, so he's probably lording that over Trayvon a little bit. But just real proud of those guys. Not just the fact that they achieved at a high level and getting to play at the highest level of football that there is in the world, but how they represent Smithson Valley and good-natured competition. Obviously, they both wanted to win, but proud of those guys. We'll look forward to keeping up with them throughout the remainder of the year. So thanks to all of y'all for being on this week, and we're going to skip a week, but when we come back, we'll report on things and keep you updated on Smithson Valley. Thanks for being on today, and go Rangers.